Hey Canucks fans, we are going back to the playoffs and it feels so good. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Saturday, August the 8th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. I have so much to get to stemming from last night's victory, but I'll get to that in a second. A couple quick programming notes. First one, thank you to everyone who joined me on my live stream last night. It was my biggest live stream ever, and I think it was bolstered by the fact that John from Hot Take Hockey did a raid, and I didn't know what a raid was. I got scared. I didn't know if I should fear for my safety, but thankfully my son Sean was there to tell me no, it was a good thing that he was bringing a bunch of people over from his live stream. So that was amazing. Thank you, John, once again. It was great to have a bunch of new friends and new subscribers last night. And speaking of live stream, heads up for tomorrow. I'm bumping tomorrow's live stream up from, usually it's 10 p.m. on Sunday nights, but I'm going to bump it up to 8 p.m. and I'll make sure that people know about it. I'll make sure that I tweet it out because I need to keep my 10 o'clock hour free for something else, a little creative something that I'm working on. And if you know anything about me or my channel or ways that I express my fandom, you probably already know what I'm getting at. So, important thing to note is the live stream tomorrow night will be at 8 p.m. Pacific time and not 10 p.m. So it might help out a few people from the East Coast that actually stay up to watch it. Okay, let's talk about last night's game. And I want to talk about also a couple other things, such as the JT Miller trade and the Tyler Toffoli UFAs and Chris Tanev UFA situation. So let's talk about last night's game first, and then we'll move on from there. Obviously, a massive win, 5-4 in overtime, 11 seconds in. Chris Tanev, 3 points on the night, which was amazing. Obviously, the game-winning goal and 2 assists. We also had 2-point nights from Quinn Hughes, who keeps up his torrid pace, from Bo Horvat, including the game-tying goal with 6 minutes left, and Tanner Pearson, who set up that game-tying goal. Miller had a point. Pettersson had a point. So the guys, again, the top 6, the guys that we needed to have points, got points. So overall, a great game. Markstrom did not have a good game. He was shaky. 3 of the 4 goals beat him on the short side. And to his credit, and obviously he was in a good mood, to his credit after the game, when they asked him about his performance, he just said, I'm just glad that the guy scored 1 more goal than I let in. So he knew that he did not have a good game. Maybe he's a little fatigued, back-to-back, 4 and 6, although Stalock did the same thing. But I think the rest will be good. The one thing that we can't be understated, although 7 of the 8 series ended in 4 games or fewer, is that they're going to get a rest, right? The next series isn't going to start until until Tuesday, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. So Jacob Markstrom and the players, the whole team will get at least 4 or 5 days in between games. Of course, they'll practice a couple times in there. So that was good. But overall, obviously very exciting. I never felt that the Canucks were out of it, even when they were down 1-0 and then down 3-1 and then down 4-3. I thought that they battled quite well, and yeah, I wouldn't say that this team's at 2011 or 2012 levels yet, but you never felt like they were out of it. And maybe because I tweeted about this last night, with Ryan Suter gone, not that he's the fastest skater, but I really thought that the Canucks could expose the Minnesota D, in particular the speed. Obviously, Jared Spurgeon's a great skater. Dumba and Brodin are decent. But then when you guys have guys like Barkowski and Hunt and Soucy, you can see that the Canucks, with their speedy forwards like Pettersson, Miller, Besser, Virtanen, they could indeed expose the slowness of the Minnesota blue line. And the Canucks blue line, that was supposed to be this Achilles heel for the team, they played very well. You could argue they outplayed the Minnesota blue line in the fact that they kept Minnesota mostly on the outside. Minnesota didn't score a 5-on-5 goal until the 4th game. So obviously Hughes was excellent, but Tanev and Edler had excellent series. Myers, when he wasn't in the penalty box, played okay. Juolevi and Stetcher limited minutes as the 3rd pairing last night, but they were solid as well. Certainly didn't hurt the team. And my unsung hero for the first series, this qualifying series, was Brandon Sutter. He scored a goal yesterday, and he was noticeable. He was a difference maker, especially in games 2, 3, 4, after he got bumped up to 3rd-line center, his natural position in place of Adam Gaudette. So I thought Sutter was great. You need guys like Sutter and Roussel and Mott to play well in the bottom 6 to supplement, to complement what the top 6 is doing, and they certainly did that as well. So overall, I know we talked about this on the live stream. I've talked about this on Twitter or on my daily vlogs. Overall, solid. And when the Canucks are playing well, I really like their mix. They have their young guns, of course, in Pedersen and Hughes and Besser. Then you have the playoff veterans that have come from other teams, cup winners like Beagle, Toffoli, Pearson, and then guys that have had deep playoff runs like JT Miller and Tyler Myers. Then you have Edler and Tanev, the holdovers from the 2011 team, and then of course a guy like Horvat, who's kind of in the middle age right now. He's not, you can't say he's a young guy, but he's certainly not a veteran just yet, but showing his leadership as well. Guys like Horvat and Markstrom. So overall, when the Canucks are playing well, when everyone's doing their job, they have a chance to play with anyone in the league, and I can't wait to see who they play against. So a couple things. I predicted the Canucks in 4, like many people did. Certainly wasn't the only one, but I was happy to be proven right on that prediction. And if you're wondering who we play next, we are the 5th seed because the 2 teams above us in the qualifying round, Edmonton lost, Nashville lost. So we bump up from 7 to 5. That means we play the 4 seed in the round robin. The lowest team of the 4 teams is going to be one of Dallas or St. Louis because they play each other tomorrow in the afternoon, and they're both winless in their 2 games so far. So we play the loser of Dallas, St. Louis. St. Louis, we went 2-0-1 against them in the regular season. That means we took 5 out of 6 points from them, which was good. And then for Dallas, we got whomped twice. We actually got 0 out of 4 points. So, history would seem to dictate that we would match up better against St. Louis. That's the matchup I'm indeed looking forward to. It'd be cool if we knocked off the Stanley Cup champions. But, we'll see what happens tomorrow in their game. So that's an important thing to note as well. And like I said, our series will either start on Tuesday or Wednesday. A couple other things I want to talk about really quick and get your feedback on. With the Canucks win last night, and you guys know that I've been making a big deal about being very particular in my language, intentional in my language. That was a postseason series. That wasn't a playoff series. The Canucks won to get into the playoffs. And I get that the NHL basically, and a lot of commentators, count the qualifying series as a playoff round. And from a stats perspective, that's true. Because there's no such stat category as qualifying round stats. It's either a regular season or a playoff postseason. So everything that happened in that first round, that qualifying round, will count towards playoff stats. But the true playoffs, by definition, start next week when you get down to the round of 16. Because every qualifying team that lost, such as the Minnesota Wild, will have a chance to go win the draft lottery and the rights to Alexei Lafreniere, and that's on Monday. So it's playoff time now, and because of that, another condition or another ramification is that we now have clarity on the JT Miller trade. You remember on June 22nd, my birthday last year, the second day of the draft that was held in Vancouver, Vancouver traded goaltender Marek Mazanek, also the 2019 third-round pick, and a conditional first-round pick, either 2020 or 2021, depending on when the Canucks made the playoffs, to Tampa Bay for JT Miller. Obviously, that trade has worked out well. JT Miller, our leading scorer, proven leader. I don't think we can quibble now that trade wasn't worth it. But now we have clarity. Because the Canucks indeed made the playoffs now because of last night's win, and this is why the proper technical language is so important. Because the Canucks made the playoffs, now our first rounder goes to Tampa Bay, and they've since traded that pick to New Jersey in the Blake Coleman trade at the trade deadline. So that means New Jersey will pick somewhere in the bottom half of the draft. They're not giving the top 8 nor the next 7, right? They're 15 teams, 8 qualifying losers plus the 7 non-qualifying teams. Those 15 make up the top half of the draft. So depending, they slot in reverse points percentage. So likely New Jersey, and because there's a couple of teams like Chicago and like Arizona that had a worse points percentage than Vancouver that have made the and Montreal. So there's at least 3 teams. So you'd figure that those teams will slot in 16, 17, 18. So really, Vancouver's pick is likely going to be in the high teens, 19, 20, maybe 21. So the 19, 20, 21 range. And that's the pick that New Jersey's going to get. So it's not like it's a lottery pick. It's not even a top 10 pick. It's not even a top 15 pick. It'll be in the 19, 20, 21 range. So another reason why you could argue that trade was good. And that's why you need to have clarity. Because if you counted the qualifying round as a playoff round, then that means we would have given New Jersey that pick. But then if we had lost, and then New Jersey has our pick because you consider the qualifying round a playoff round, then they would get the chance to get Lafreniere. So I hope you follow that logic. That's why it's very important to say the round of 16 is the playoffs. Lastly, I was talking about this with my golfing buddies a couple nights ago, and then seeing it again with Chris Tanev, strong play. Well, Toffoli didn't play. In my head, you guys know that I had Markstrom and Toffoli as 1A and 1B, basically, or 1 and 1A, whatever the analogy is, as priorities to to sign as UFAs, and then I had Chris Tanev a notch below them. Not sure if that's the case anymore. With Toffoli out, we've won 3 games, not because he's out, but Besser has stepped up. We still have Louis Eriksson. We still have Josh Levo waiting to come in. And down the road, we have guys like Höglander, Podkolzin, and Lynn knocking on the door probably in two seasons from now, and they're a lot cheaper. So I'm starting, sour is not the right word, but I'm starting to think less that signing Toffoli is a priority. And seeing what Chris Tanev did last night, seeing how well he played in the qualifying round, seeing how much his teammates love him, everyone from Travis Green to Jacob Markstrom to Bo Horvat to Quinn Hughes, maybe signing him is a priority. And maybe now he's my number 2 behind Markstrom in the priority list. And he could be number 1, but if he continues to play as well as he's playing. But we'll see how that goes. You know, another small thing, I hate to talk like this, but if Michael Furlan actually comes to a decision about his career, either long-term injury reserve or retired, that's $3.5 million that could be freed up. Obviously, I don't expect that, and I don't wish that in that way, because Furlan might give himself a shot to come back and try again next year, and you got to give him that opportunity if he wants it. He's earned that opportunity, but that's something, you know, that's not a small factor to consider. It's a big factor. That's $3.5 million. So all to say, as the Canucks continue to win without Toffoli, and as Tanev continues to play well, that's obviously going to raise Tanev's value, and it'll make it more difficult for the Canucks to sign him, but maybe they will decide that he is indeed a priority because of how valuable he is. So many things to talk about today, Canucks fans. I would love your feedback. There's really no question of the day, because I'm not going to ask you how you're feeling. I think I know the answer to that. But maybe you want to talk about the JT Miller trade. Maybe you want to talk about Tyler Toffoli versus Chris Tanev. Or maybe you want to talk about anything that stood out to you from the series. Were you worried? Were you surprised? Or did you have Canucks in 4 all along? So many things that you can talk about. Leave a comment below. I will do my best to read, react, and reply. And don't forget, tomorrow's live stream, bumping up to 8 p.m. instead of my regular 10 p.m. Pacific time. All right, Canucks fans, leave a comment. I love to read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy the day, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. I'm in a good mood. I hope you are too. I trust that you are. God bless, and go Canucks go.